Hey everyone, how's it going? In this episode, I want to talk about karma. So from my understanding, what I get of the majority of people's understanding about karma is that if you do something, that it can come back to you. And so they mean that if you do something bad, that will come back to you. If you do something good, that will come back to you. So why don't you do good stuff so it will come back to you? And in ways, it is true. So karma further, my definition of karma is that the energy that we put out comes back. So it is, if it is whatever intention it is, meaning from dark, from light, from sinister, from healing, from whatever intention it is, it does go out and come back, and it does affect your life, because that is all of life though. All of life is about whatever energy is what brings about your experience. However you go and see things, the energy of your perspective is exactly what brings about your reality. So karma, I believe in two ways that it comes about. So I believe that when we come into life, we come overseeing what we're about to do. We have contracts and life purposes and lessons and things that we go about talking about in a way. Let's say talking, but it's not talking. It's energy. We just send it. It's basically telepathic. So we with the energy, with all the people, and we draw to us basically what our lives are, the things that we wish and intend. From there, the karma is already within that plan, because on past lives, it comes from the things that happen in past lives that have not healed, the things in past lives that the karma has not been balanced or cleared. And so that comes about into your life if you decide that's the karma you wish to work out. So if you understand that karma is not just one thing. You don't just have a karma. You can have an overarching general karma, but in truth, in karma, you're working out all the little things that bring about karma. And karma can be from anything. Karma can be as little as you gave someone a cup of coffee and then you received another, if it's balanced coffee, maybe a bigger gift because of past things you've given. Like, there's just so much to it. And then karma can go as deep as you healed this person internally by giving them this, and there is just so, like, karma it's everything. It really is. But at the same time, it doesn't mean we always exist in karma. Karma is only as everything in life, if you allow it. And the thing is, right now we are living in a realm of karma. At the same time though, because of the cycle we're in, we're coming to an end of a karma. So that's another thing you have to understand about karma too, and I'll get further as I go about this, because this has to do with sun cycles and the cycles that we're living in the zodiac times, because right now we just went from Pisces to Aquarius, so that's a new age. And in the birthing of a new age, that karma remains in that age. As we go into a new age, we build on new karma because it's a different frequency. So that age closes about those karmic frequencies, but it doesn't mean that we still don't have some karma from those ages. Like, it's just, I guess it starts getting difficult, and I'll go further into that as I break down into things, but this is because it's the beginning karma episode. All I'm trying to say is, so the second part of karma, so there's the first part of karma where you're living your past lives and you're living your life now, and you came into this life with your karma from those, okay? Then there's the karma that you create while living. So here's the thing. When you come into life, this is also what I was talking about in the episode about past lives. When you come into life, you have this knowing. So this is what I was saying about the three different stages of experience as well. There's the knowing, where you can be the outsider and the person that sees things, and you can just be like, why don't you just do this? Oh my God, when I think about it, why don't you just, like, it's so easy. And then there's the person who's experiencing, that is in it, that while the outsider can say those things, when you're in it, sometimes it's more difficult because you're so involved in it, you have those feelings. And while the outsider can say those things are like easy, why don't you just do it? Sometimes it's not that easy. And when the outsider actually experiences those, they're like, oh, you're right, it's not that easy. And then there's also then the understanding. So the understanding comes about from the having both the knowing and the experience and the knowing. And that doesn't always come about the same. Sometimes you can experience before you know, and then sometimes you know before you experience. And from that comes the understanding. Now, when you have all three of those, the knowing, experience, and understanding, that is when you truly, truly experience a situation and come from a place where now you understand all. And that changes everything. So what I'm trying to say is that's what karma is. So karma, when you come into this life, you as the outsider thought it to be a way. But now as the person experiencing, you might not want to do everything you thought you were going to do as the outsider looking in. Now that you're in it, you might change things. And that's what emotions are. So emotions is actually what brings about the karma, because emotions are what are so powerful. It's what draws on that energy concentrated into a form that we send out into what we wish, experience, pray, whatever. It's all of that. And that's what draws in what comes to us, right? The magnet, the attraction. And so that is also part of the karma, meaning that in that moment, even though when you were looking over your life, you said that you weren't going to make this decision, but now living this life, you're like, I am making this decision. I have to, this is all I can do. In that moment, everything that happens from there is karma, because it changed things so deeply that it made things change. And that is part of karma too. So in karma, it takes usually more than one. So it's usually you and a person, you or something. It's you and something, because it has to do with what it creates within you to bring about this energy exchange that leads to the karma, which is a contract. And then it's about learning both the sides to balance. And from that is when you free the karma. You free the karma when you have a full understanding of it all. And it no longer, you're not picking either or anymore. It's just understanding it all. And when you understand it all, there really isn't picking between the two or anything. It's just experiencing. It's choosing your experience. And that's the difference. So I think that's all I mean, you can go further. Basically, karma healing is just being honest with the things that you need to deal with inside. The truth is, we all know what we have to deal with inside. It's just, are you actually listening, or are you being distracted by everything? When I say everything, I mean everything that you think is life, which is the things that you think you have to be responsible for, the things that you need to survive for, all the things that you think that you have to do, with all the things that you're telling me right now as excuses, actually telling yourself as excuses as to why this, why that, why that. It's all of that. So all of that too, and how you're reacting, it's part of your karma too, is because this brings about your reactions. Karma brings about your reactions before you're honest with yourself of why you're reacting that way, to work out why. And then when you work it out and then you change those kinds of things, when you recognize where you are, when you actually make conscious choices of actions rather than reacting. There's a difference between consciously choosing to act and reactions. There's a difference. And when that happens, that is also when you recognize that, you're no longer a slave or a prisoner to karma. So good luck, everyone. You got this. It was meant to be. You chose it. Everything about karma is because of the things that you chose, that you allowed, that you wanted to experience to bring you to where you wish to go. So most people usually are like, well, how can you say that? Because those experiences were terrible. I would never have wanted to do that. But in truth, it was what it took to get you to finally do something about it, to finally, whatever it is, to bring you to that action. And that's what I hate about it all, is because most people don't like to claim responsibility for why they're where they are. They'd like to blame and victimize. And the truth is, everyone does have a responsibility for where they're at, even you. So while you want to blame everyone, go ahead, but recognize too, what is your responsibility? And what you have control over is what you decide to do out of all of that, out of your understanding, out of your decisions, out of your reactions, out of every single thing. So it's up to you. And also, the most important thing, it's up to you what you feed your mind. Meaning, if you believe in this stuff or don't, if you understand this stuff or don't, if whatever it is or don't, that's all what you decide to feed your mind. All right. Love you all, for real, this time. Mwah.